Drive doorbell video?
They are.
All fair and accurate?
They are.
And at this time, I'd move for admission of 212 through 219.
Defense. Exhibits 212 through 219 will be admitted.
And permission to publish, starting with 212, Your Honor.
You may go ahead.
So we're going to play now 212 on the screen here. Before I start playing it, can you give just a quick summary of what the jury's going to see in this particular video?
So 6626 Mandan Drive. If you're standing at what was the Stauch residence, which was 6627, and you're looking at it, 6626 is going to be behind you and slightly to the left. And so this is across the street. And so what you're going to see is you're going to see the defendant and Gannon return home on Monday, the 27th at 2:20 p.m. And you'll see the red truck back into the driveway.
Okay. And so just so we get oriented, there's a pointer there. Will you point out 6627 Mandan Drive?
Right here with the black Volkswagen Tiguan in the driveway.
Is that the defendant's Volkswagen Tiguan?
It is.
And then is the pickup truck also identified there?
It's right in front of the house alongside the curb at this time.
Okay, let's go ahead and play this now. So again, for reference sake, we had previously had some video admitted of 6643 Mandan Drive. Do you remember that video?
I do.
Including a zoomed in image from basically the same time as this video, where you see a shadow come down from the passenger back seat area of that pickup truck.
That's correct.
Is that actually caught on this video?
Unfortunately, it's not.
How is this video, is it motion detected basically?
It is. It's motion activated based on the sensitivity of the Ring doorbell, how those are set up.
And so does this video cut off just before we see the persons getting out of the vehicle from that other address, 6643 Mandan Drive?
It does. The video only captures for 1 minute and 9 seconds, and we're still about 30 seconds out before the doors open, captured from the neighbor's camera, which is a completely different system.
What are these two systems? 6643, the one that has the zoomed in image, and then this one, 6626.
So the one you just saw is a Ring doorbell, and then the one from the same side as the street as the residence 6643 is an Xfinity system that constantly captures. And that's why you're able to get the entire event.
Okay. And then moving on to People's 213. So before we get too far on this particular video, the Tiguan that you had pointed out earlier, and I know I keep mispronouncing that word, but it's something I can't get past apparently. The Volkswagen that was parked in the driveway, is it now in a different spot?
It's now backed into the garage, yes.
At 6627 Mandan Drive?
Correct.
Okay. And what are we going to see in this particular video?
So now we're at 2:29 in the afternoon on Monday, the 27th. And what you're going to see is at about the 30-second mark, you'll see what appears to be the defendant walk to the front of the garage and look out and then go back in. It's going to be extremely difficult for you to see it from where you're at. I have a large monitor in my office, and it's still kind of tough at times for me to see, but right about the 30-second mark, you'll see the movement.
So will you point out for the jury where they're going to see that movement?
Right here.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and play it now.
Right there.
Right in the middle of that garage area.
Correct.
Based on your knowledge of the investigation, Mr. Clark, who was home at the 6627 Mandan Drive on this afternoon of January 27th, 2020?
At this time, at 2:29, only the defendant and Gannon.
Where was Harley
She was at work.
and Al
I was in Oklahoma.
and Lena, the younger sister?
She was in school.
And then we're going to jump ahead now to People's Exhibit 214. What is the date of this video?
This is the next day. This is going to be Tuesday, the 28th.
Early morning hours?
Early morning. The first video is at 6:19 a.m.
And what are we going to see in this video?
You're going to see the Nissan move, start up and move a few feet on the curb. You'll see the dome light inside the Nissan turn off. You'll hear a door close right at about 30 seconds.
Sounds like maybe that truck needs to get its muffler fixed. Point out where we're looking at for the Nissan and the 6627 Mandan.
Here's the Nissan and here's the dome light right there. So you'll hear, you'll see a little bit of movement here at 27 seconds, and then you'll hear the door close and you'll see the dome light go out. There's the movement in front of the truck. Into the truck. There's the dome light going off when the truck starts.
So let me just go back to the, I need to do something with that video. Sorry, Judge. So we pointed out where the Nissan Titan pickup is. There's a white vehicle in the driveway there. Whose
There
vehicle
is.
is that?
That's Harley's Volkswagen Jetta.
And then the Tiguan, is that still in the garage?
It is.
Okay. And then moving on to People's Exhibit 215, just describe what we're going to see in 215.
This is a minute later, and the Tiguan pulls out of the garage.
Just pausing it while we had a little commotion here. All right, so point out while we've got this paused, the Nissan Titan, is it still parked out in front of the 6627?
It is it's pulled forward slightly, so it's right there. There's Harley's Jetta, and there's the Tiguan.
You've picked up the Tiguan pronunciation now too. That motion that we see in the entrance to the garage, can you point out where that was? And I'll just pull it back just a little bit.
Right here.
So the headlights that came on inside the garage, is that from the defendant's Tiguan?
It is.
And then the next few videos that we're going to see as it relates to that Volkswagen Tiguan, does that coincide with some cast testimony that Special Agent Hoyland gave us last week?
It does.
Generally describe what this is showing as it relates to that correlation with Special Agent Hoyland's testimony.
So the Tiguan's going to leave for 10 minutes and come back. During that 10 minutes, the telematics, the GPS collected off the Tiguan records data locations, as well as the Life 360 app that's on the defendant's phone recording GPS locations, and they're traveling together.
Okay. And is this, is there going to be a trip essentially that the Tiguan leaves 6627 Mandan, drives up to Bradley Road, and then basically returns right back to the house?
That's exactly what it does.
We're going to pull up, just so you can point that out before we watch those videos, Mr. Hoyland's report, which was Exhibit 293. Let me get that pulled up. So we're looking at page 28 of Special Agent Hoyland's report. Is this basically what you're talking about there?
Correct.
So using the pointer, just point out what we're going to see and how it correlates with this particular page of Special Agent Hoyland's report.
So what you see is you see the Tiguan depart the residence at 6:22. It begins collecting Life 360 points off of the phone. You have AT&T call detail records, data, and it goes up to Bradley and then turns around and comes right back to the house.
And so are we seeing in these next videos basically just the vehicle leaving 6627 Mandan Drive and then returning to 6627 Mandan Drive in correlation with what we see on this map?
That's correct.
Okay. We're going to go to 216 now. Give the date and time of what we're going to see on People's Exhibit 216.
So this is Tuesday morning. We're now at 6:21 in the morning
On January 28th?
on January 28th, yes.
And for context purposes, is this basically the next morning after the defendant reported Gannon missing on the evening of January 27th?
It is.
And now we're going to move on to People's 217. What are we going to see in People's 217?
You're going to see the defendant in the Tiguan return to the residence at 6627 Manning Drive.
Essentially, after going up to Bradley and then returning back?
Right, 10 minutes has lapsed.
Is that the Tiguan backed into the driveway at 6627 Mandan Drive?
It is.
Why is the sound so horrible on these videos? Do you know that?
Wind, I mean, it's a fairly expensive security device. It's supposed to capture, about 10 feet of someone coming up to your house. So for the long distance stuff, it's not the best.
Okay. Moving on to People's Exhibit 218. As I'm pulling that up, describe to the jury what they're going to see in 218.
The garage door will be open and you'll see movement inside the garage.
I'm going to pull that back up so you can point out exactly where you see them. So I've got it paused at 1 minute and 6 seconds, and it's a 1 minute, 9 second video. Point out where you're going to see the moving inside the garage.
To be right here, we get the best view.
And is it basically, does it appear that somebody's walking from inside the garage back to the Tiguan?
It does.
Just there at the very end?
Yes.
And then moving on to 219, as I'm pulling that up, describe to the jury what they're going to see in 219.
The Tiguan backs into the garage.
In in your reviewing surveillance, we can take the TV down. Thank you, Judge. In your reviewing the surveillance video to try to find relevant portions of video as it relates to the investigation, was it typical for the defendant to back vehicles into the driveway or into the garage?
It was not.
When was the time frame of when that activity becomes more prevalent?
It started happening Monday and Tuesday.
So January 27th and 28th,
And 28th, yes.
coinciding with the time that Gannon goes missing and then is reported as a runaway?
That's correct. Most of the time it's just driven straight in.